And we are live. Hello, hello, hello. Good afternoon, and welcome to another edition of Time in Life. I am your host, Meschida Philip, and this is a little bit of a bittersweet episode. We are we are my mom is coming out. That's the beautiful thing about chiming, right? So my mom is coming out right now, ladies and gentlemen, because every week she is on here um, looking in and be my biggest critic. So just excuse me for 1 second while I'm putting on her listen to this, her WhatsApp for her. I'm so sorry. Mommy, this is crazy. I'm lying. Come say hi to the people because you already put yourself out here. This is so say hi to the people. Hi. Okay. So this is so crazy. But that's the beautiful thing about go. That's the beautiful thing about what we do, right? After all, it's about being relevant and she is my biggest critic. So as I was saying, thank you so much for chiming in again. And I know you guys are laughing in the chat right now. I want to say thank you to my partners right along live as my media partner who each and every Sunday is helping us stream this and bringing it into your home. To all of my guests who are here with us today, we have two amazing content creators. We have Cyril from Cameroon and we have John from Grenada that is going to be sharing all the ins and outs about how they remain relevant in this industry. That the creative world, let me bring them on screen, is actually mourning with the loss of Chadwick this week. And for me, I took it as a way of celebrating what we do as creativity and using his death as an inspiration. This dude was diagnosed with cancer for 4 years and he did not give up. He remained resilient. He did what he had to do to inspire us, to empower our generation. And for that, I celebrate him. I celebrate his family and I celebrate all of us as Black creatives. So, without any further ado, let me introduce my panelists with me today. So we have Cyril and we have John. You know how we do it. I give
Yes.
them 30 to 60 seconds, however long they want, to introduce themselves. So you can give us your whole resume or you can do just a little. So we can start with you, Cyril. Tell
Yes.
the people out there who you are.
Thank you so much for having me, Meschida. I'm honored. I'm truly honored, and I want to appreciate you for the work you're doing so far. It's just awesome being here with you and John. My name is Cyril Njiken. You said it already. I'm a father. I'm a filmmaker, motivational speaker, and a life coach. You know, film is my passion and it's my purpose. Studied it. Have a master's degrees in fine art in film, and I've been on the field producing. And when I'm not producing, I'm mentoring. I have a lot of classes I teach on a daily basis of leadership and self-awareness, loving who you are. I'm originally from Cameroon. Now I'm a Bronxite for 13 years, and I'm just living my best life. I'm living my best life and just knowing my worth. Trying to every day that I woke up, I want to express my art and I want to be able to inspire someone. So I'm honored to be here.
Thank you. Thank you very much. And we have Mr. John James. You hear Jay with us from my home country, Grenada. He's dwelling on the Twin Islands. So introduce yourself, John.
Hi everyone. Well, I'm from actually Carriacou, Carriacou in Grenada. I mainly work with expert production. I am the mixing and mastering engineer there. I also work with Palm Tree Vibes. I am the videographer and creative director. And I'm sure a lot of people have seen our work and heard our music. We do a lot of soca in the region, Grenada, Trinidad, all over. And the Palm Tree Corner, I'm sure that people have seen that. So there isn't much to say about me. I don't have a lot of things like 𝗏𝗏 to say, but
He's being
that's just
shy.
that's
There
just me.
isn't much to say about him. So I met this young man. I was just saying to Cyril in the backstage. I met him actually 2019 at the Grenada Independence celebration, and I was actually eavesdropping on a conversation with him and another creative in Grenada, and that's when we were about to launch the 1261 Film Festival. And here I am out of nowhere, and I'm like, "Hey guys, I'm doing this." And from since then, I've been following their work, and I must say, what you guys are doing with Palm Tree Vibes, Palm Tree Corner, whichever direction you wanna um, categorize it, you guys are doing amazing work, and hence the reason why I invited you on this platform to also celebrate the things that you are creating. People may have different interpretations of it, but as someone who can appreciate creativity and content creation, I feel it was necessary for us to highlight that. So you do a lot. Don't underestimate yourself.
Uh,
Like me, and Cyril put me in my place. So let's get into it. We are coming out of a very interesting time, 2020. Ooh, very interesting.
Yeah.
Our industry is highly saturated. These days, everyone with a camera, a cell phone camera, are now a videographer. Everyone with a cell phone camera is now a photographer. Everyone with a cell phone camera is audio mixer with some kind of stuff. But how do you, as a creative who have been investing within your craft, how do you remain relevant in this time?
I think it boils down to your why, and I say it all the time, and most people feel like it's just overrated. I think when you know your why, relevancy becomes your everyday activity, right? Because I didn't become a filmmaker just because I saw people doing films. I became a filmmaker because I found my true calling. I found my passion, and that drives me every day. Right. The first day we met, Meschida, on campus, and when I came to you and you saw the project I did in Cameroon, and you break it down and you critique and everything, I felt like I was in the right place. I felt like, wow, this is what I want to do. I want people to look at my work and I want them to tell me this is wrong, this is wrong, this is right, this is right. So my what's my why? I am a filmmaker. I want to create content on a daily basis. I want people to be inspired by my work. So then that will drive me to be relevant, right? It will drive me to, even when 2020 is going crazy, where people are losing their jobs, people don't know what to do anymore, we still want to create content, right? I'm working on 2 projects right now that I'm already writing, and I'm just waiting for coronavirus to stop, the confinement, everything to stop, so that I could hit the road. So I think it's all boils down to, what's your why? Why are you a content creator? Why are you doing what you're doing? So
That's a good segue. So, John, why are you a content creator? Why are you creating the amazing work that you are doing? See, we're not going to get away this easy. I'm going to just be pulling from you guys. I'm going to be putting you on the spot. I'm like, oh God.
as Cyril said, it's the love for it. You have to realize again why you're doing it. With Palm Tree Vibes, we always seek creative ways to engage our audiences, and at the same time, we don't want to put out this like content that's already out there. So you have to constantly think about creative ways in which you can do something, because you have to, like, to be honest, everything kind of has been done already.
Agreed.
So
I agree.
there is nothing new on the face of there. So it's just you to take something and turn it into yours.
I totally agree.
So with the Palm Tree Corner, we know that there was like acoustic videos with in Jamaica, like with all those reggae stuff, and so we said, hey, we can do this here. let's take soca and turn it into acoustic music. And that hasn't really been done before or done much before or on that scale.
Mm-hmm.
So things like that is stuff that keeps us relevant, I should say. Because again, you just really want to give people something that they need or they want, something to make them smile, something to make them feel good. That's just what, you know.
So your why is that. But one of the things that I pulled from watching your content from season 1, because I have a strong affiliation, a strong affinity, I should say, or love for anything creative, and especially when coming to promoting the young artists from home, the artists, not the young, but the artists in general in Grenada. What I could have appreciated from your stuff was the quality in which you guys produce the the episodes, and also it allowed the artist to sing in a way that people can now recognize that they actually had a voice that can travel beyond just the jump and wave. A lot of these guys in them, their actual voice propelled within.
And that's the thing. A lot of people didn't know that these artists could have actually sing like that.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because they're accustomed to hey, nah, nah. But then it went to a mellow vibe where you actually were able to use like the vocal ability, the range, you know, go up high, go low, you know, just experiment more with the voice that they couldn't do with the 140 to 160 BPM, you know. Yeah, so
You're talking all technical stuff for me, right? And that say 141, whatever. So that's because of his geniusness, right? And I'm like, okay, yeah, that's really interesting. For me, it's like I'm just hearing the actual voice now. And like your last season, I became a huge fan of Boise. Like I fell in love with Boise. I could with his song about the quarantine stuff. That's when I actually heard him for the first time, because many times he was just singing a lot of the soca music. And even though I'm hearing it and you're seeing him performing, I really got to hear his range, and I could have appreciated that. And as you mentioned before, the mere fact that you're getting to see the environment, that also was a very nice way of putting it. How do you, I'm coming back to you, Sarah, but one question I have for you before we move on, John. How do you decide what the theme for each video is going to be, or where you're actually going to shoot the videos? How do you decide that?
All right. That most of those scenes are actually chosen either the day before or on the day itself. For instance, the last season that we shot in Grenada, I went down a couple of days in advance to scout for locations because I don't live in Grenada, so I don't know much places down there. So I didn't have anything at the top of my head, so I just had to go down to scout for locations. So I drive around the island for the entire day, just looking at different places to see which location would suit which artist best. So like for a more emotional song, you're gonna go for a nice, clean, open space where, there are not much distractions and you can just focus on the artist and what what they're singing. But again, the locations are just chosen by scouting locations and just by feel,
That is cool. I actually dropped the link for one of the videos. I'm being curry favored right now. I actually dropped the link for Boise song.
Well, Boise been working very hard since quarantine, since last year, because he came to us and said, he wants to get a bit more serious with the music. He want to release more content because he was an artist that mainly release music for competition, but he wanted to, again, stay relevant, because that's what this is about.
Yes.
He wanted to stay relevant throughout the year. So we've been working closely with him from since last year up until now, to the point where he even got his own studio set up now, so that whenever he feels creative, he can just do it one time right in his home, and that I appreciate about the artists now, because now they just have everything in front of them. There are no excuses. You want to create something. It's not hard. You just go and open your laptop, record, and that's it. And
I think we're sticking. Cyril, I want to, while John is stuck a little, I want to also bring the point of music in your work. Oh, he's back.
Yeah. Yeah. So even though he doesn't have anything working on, he will constantly message us and be like, hey, what do you have for me? Let's get working. And that's the attitude that 2020 has given some artists.
Yeah, I was just saying, because the internet got a little stuck for a few seconds there. And the fact that music is a big thing, and being authentic to what the work that we are creating as the writers, as the filmmakers, and marrying that with the music to lend to our work. Cyril, how important is it when you are creating your work to stay authentic to the sounds of the country in which you're performing? I mean, you're creating the work too.
Oh, that's an awesome question. And I think for people like us, mostly in the film industry, that decide to not only stay in the city and decide to travel out to go and do a project, you want to not rob the environment or the location you're using from its authenticity. I've done my last 2 projects in Ghana, and there's no reason why I should film in Ghana, West Africa, and then not find a way to get sounds from the location, right? And I'm not saying you just have to use the sounds from location, but you have to keep that originality, and sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's difficult, right? Like with the last project I did, 𝗏𝗏, the movie, it was easy because when I got to Ghana, I started looking for everything production wise. I started looking for artists, local artists that would love to, without me spending a budget that I don't have, put their music out there, and I found a couple of people. And then when we came back during the post-production, the editor I was working with, very awesome kid, we sat down and he got the vision, right? Because I told him I don't want this to be a film shot in Ghana with outside music played in the background. So we took time out on top of the music that we had already installed to research. It took night after night after night for us to research the sound that could guide us and make the film look like, okay, this is really authentic, this is original, and it was a blessing. Trust me, it was a blessing. And I feel like every creator and every great content creator, they have that. It's inside of you. Like John says, you cannot go outside and get something that's supposed to be where it's not supposed to be, right? Like the moment you're doing the project already, everything inside of your mind. Remember, Meschida, when we were sitting at the beach writing those scripts?
Yeah.
We were traveling, right? We were sitting there in the beach, traveling to Ghana already, looking at how we want the main character to act and how we want her to react. That's content creation. Like, is a work of the spirit, and I take myself very seriously because I know not everybody has the gift that we have as creators, because it takes spirituality to be in that point where you put all those things together, and then at the end of the day, wow, John did this. Oh my God, how did he do that? So it's all in the mind.
I must say, first of all, before I even go further, to say thank you so much for giving me the opportunity also to be part of challenging myself to write for a film that is based in Africa. Just the way in which production is being done, the way the dialogue is, and the whole 9 yards. it was a challenge in me understanding a lot of the things. So thank you for that, because it
No,
allowed me to expand just
I
the
think,
same and remain.
Michelle, I think I should thank you, because guess what? You what connected us from the first day is your discipline in everything that you're doing. And I'm not saying that because you're on camera now. I'm not trying to blow your head up. I always say that always, and you know that I always say that. Your discipline.
Johnny called me Madam Director.
Sometimes she doesn't get it, but I know why I do. Like, very disciplined, you know, very focused on knows what she wants from the moment she received the project. That right there, you don't find it all over. So, and when we, trust me, you made my job easy when I was on location, you know, with everything that we put together. I went down there and it was easy for me to just say, cut, you know, actually I want it this way, because we already break it down, you know, completely. So thank you for being that. You challenged me. You challenged me. You pushed me to be the best, right? Like, because I didn't want to bring something that's like, and then start hearing your voice in my head all day, all night, you know. I didn't want to do that. I didn't want to do that. So thank you.
Johnny, you're very welcome, Sarah. You're very welcome. You know you're tripping me up, right? Because I don't like that, right? You know, I am like in the background, and I'm like,
yeah.
Okay.
Sorry, Madam Humble. Sorry.
Yeah, but thank you so much, John. One of the things that I wanted to do, and also because it's a big struggle, and we need to talk about it because I always put it on blast, is the fact that understanding what a lot of the content creators are doing in Grenada. That's part of the biggest struggle. I know here we tend to collaborate a lot. And if you have your circles and you have the people that you collaborate with, but it's finding ways in which we all can expand. And that has always been the challenge in Grenada.
It's still that challenge. I think it's the mindset too. And a lot of times too, the budget, because people don't want to collaborate down here much because the budget is small, and when you collaborate and you have to share that, at the end of the day, it's not much. Another thing too, because the island is so small, I think that some
I think his internet is going in and out.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cleve said the local artist that's old and the future of the indie film.
I'm back.
He's back. That's chiming in. So
Like that.
it's a Sunday afternoon. Let's have fun with it.
So yeah, I was saying that I think too, like some of the content creators here feel threatened by others knowing their process because of how small the island is. They don't want like another person doing something like how they're doing it. So I think some of those factors are things that prevent much collaboration down here.
And you see, I beg to differ because I come from a place where I refuse to do everything on my own, and I want to uplift the work that you're doing.
Yeah.
You have a specialty that I don't have. You have a passion for the music and seeing things in a different way and understanding how the local community will, respond to something. And I want to collaborate with you. And even if you don't have the money on one project, or everyone is getting a small amount on the one project, I think if you have a bigger vision to see that you can go further, I think that's where we are going to become stronger as individual artists.
I could add to that. I could add to that, Meschida. I think what John said is it's quite unfortunate, right? Because people have that lack of confidence when they think, oh, John is great. He does a lot of great stuff. I don't want him to see my weakness or my areas of improvement. But how do we learn? How do we learn from each other if we don't have the courage to collaborate and tell everyone that, you know what, I'm good at this, right? But I'm still struggling with this, and I need you and I to collaborate so that it could help me. Like the project, every project I do, I make sure to bring everybody on board, because I cannot have all the vision by myself, right? I get given the vision, and then by bringing other people, everyone brings in a little bit of their intellect, and they will make it a even bigger project, right? So I just think people need to be, they need to let loose a little bit. creators need to let loose a little bit and understand that collaboration brings greatness. You know, you cannot build it by yourself. You can't. Be confident enough to share your talent, share your energy with everybody, so that it will help you grow. We look for editors not because we can't edit, right? Meschida, we spent 2 years studying editing in a school, right? So
I'm a story editor. I know how to craft a story very well in the editing, but I'm not a finisher. I am still not a finisher.
Exactly. So you bring somebody else because you want their vision. You bring the audio guy. You want him to bring his intellect and bring his gift and add on to what you have already, and that's what make a great project. And even the most famous ones, the artists, the actors, they always collaborate to make great work. You know.
You know what I would love to see, and that I think that's how we could remain fresh and we could remain relevant too. I would love to have an opportunity to work with you, John, more on creating or utilizing your sound in any of the projects that I'm working with. I may not be able to pay you what you're worth right now, but if you believe in me, you know, I'm not going to leave you behind. But it's the truth, because for me, I am inspired by the things I hear. I'm inspired by the things that I see. You know, and you've made a point, John, that nothing is original, but the way in which I package things make it feel fresh, makes it feel new. And that, I think, a lot of people lack vision, I should say, when they're creating things or recreating things. So on that note, what would it take for you to move forward from this point to the end of the year, I guess? They say 2020 is dead, right? So I don't think 2020 is dead because we're going forward with a lot of different projects, right? But what would it take you, John, to make a different approach in collaborating more, knowing what people are doing right now and the lack of what we have in Grenada? Well, what would you like to see happen as far as collaboration in Grenada?
A short film with all the filmmakers. You know,
let's make it happen. Put him on blast right now.
That's all the film. Like, I think that we have all the resources here to create that. We have talent, we have videographers, we have audio people, we have all the equipment I think that we need to execute it. It's just like everybody coming together now to share, you know, put in their perspective, their ideas, the creative direction into that one thing, and just create it. You know, we can seek sponsorship or something for it, because I'm sure that will be easy to get considering the magnitude of the project. But I would love to see that happen.
I would love to see that happen too, and I'm putting it out there. And I'm making a shameless plug right now. The film festival will be happening next year, again in May, and it will be nice to have a Grenadian-produced film at the festival that is done by all of the local creative, spearheaded by John James.
I'm surprised.
I'm not sure about spearheaded by, but I'll definitely be a part of it.
I can be a director or a producer on there, so I'm volunteering my time, you know. To bring together writers. I know people who can help us, you know, do all of the script development and the whole 9 yards. So I think we're talented enough that we can make it possible.
Why not a feature-length film? Why a short film, John?
Oh, it's not going to be. If I'm on board, no, it cannot be with all his talent.
No, he said John said a short film. John said a short film. And I'm like, no, like don't shortchange yourself. I think you guys are ready with with this film festival and all the great work that Meschida is doing. Mm-hmm. I think it will make nobody, you know, it will not hurt anyone into investing into a real feature-length film, you know. And then it's not going to be a one-person thing. It's going to be a whole island investment. Let's put our energy behind this project and let's send it around the world. Let the world see us in a different light. You know?
When you have these kind of collaboration, I think that it reaches more people, because like if you're doing it for yourself, then when you put it out, you get that's just your audience. But then when you have so much people involved and they share it and everybody shares it, I think that that's what we need.
Yep.
I am there for that. I mean, how I remain relevant as an artist. As everyone know, COVID happened. Our festival is something that is happening annually. And when we were getting ready to do the launch in May, we couldn't. So we had to now revamp and recreate ways to remain relevant. And I think I'm coming back to that word, relevancy. So we had to find a different way to deliver it. So in October, we are doing a hybrid festival. We are doing limited in-person screenings in Grenada to make it a really nice interactive experience there. And we are also pivoting to a virtual experience, and we've expanded it beyond the film. I understand that much of the content that is created in Grenada is not really whole films per se, as we alluded to, but we have a lot of videographers who are doing amazing music videos. We have a lot of photographers. I had a call out for photographers because we are going to be doing a virtual installment, like a museum. So each photographer or visual artist that is selected to be part of that online experience will have their museum. So you come in and people can interact with you and you can talk about your collection. And it gives you another way, how John talked about reaching a larger audience. It gives you that platform that normally you just putting your stuff up on social media and people say like, but how is that turning over into money? How is it turning over into sales? How many of the people that say we have an amazing photographer, Artie, our Teddy, those guys, and then you're getting a lot of likes, but how much sale is being generated from that? How does, that buying power? So in addition to us trying to remain relevant and trying to remain fresh, we also have to come up with creative ways for us to remain sustainable.
Yeah.
I'm speaking from experience.
Yeah, no, trust me. And sustainability, I'm happy that you spoke about that. Sustainability is something that take away artists from the craft, right? Because if you have a hungry stomach, you can't think. We know that already, right? So at the end of the day, and I'm happy that you brought that back to yourself because I know personally, right? I know the journey. So and that's why that's why the respect is there, because even though it's tough, you're still holding on to that end of your bargain where you told yourself, no matter how tough it is, I'm not going to let go of my dream. I'm not going to let go of my vision. So now that the artists are struggling out there because it can't be sustainable, what do you do to remain relevant, right? Do you put yourself in a place where you still create content even though it's tough for you to eat, or do you go and get the job and forget about your creative, everything that was placed in you as a creative person, So for us that are in this part of the world, we're blessed, right? We're blessed with the ability to multitask. I've seen a lot of I've seen a lot of filmmakers, artists, singers. I have an artist right now that I'm supporting on Instagram. She was a waitress by the time we met. She was bartending, and then she was in the studio. She will make money from her bartending to get in the studio to do her stuff. So relevancy comes with, again, it comes with your why. Like if you really want, if you feel like this is what you were called to do, you're going to do everything that it takes to put yourself in the place. Just yesterday we were talking about it, Meschida. We're tired of spending our own money in our project, right? Now we want to make sure that we get the money from outside to invest in the project, because from 5 years
they don't know, Cyril. They don't know how these guys in Grenada, they get sponsorship.
Yeah,
they don't know. They don't know how the struggle is for me that the film festival has been funded by myself and my family.
Yep.
They don't realize that, every single day when I decide to quit, people like yourself and other people are saying, you can't.
You can't.
Option.
You can't.
Because again, this is my why is leading to what John talked about. My why is being able to see high quality productions coming out from Grenada that has the tag made and produced by Grenadians that we can help share to a global market. That's my why, really and truly. You know, in doing all the things that I'm doing, I am a servant. I serve people. That's basically what I do. But I can only do so much if the people are not accepting the opportunities that is in front of them. It makes it more difficult for us to get to the next level. Because when you're looking at neighboring countries like Trinidad, St. Vincent, and Lucia, the talent that we have in Grenada, that, listen to me, I don't know about Cameroon and Ghana and those places, but I'm going to live it up. I'm like, the talent that we have in Grenada is, and John could attest to that, we're ganging up on you, right? We have some natural talent in Grenada.
Yeah.
That these guys and them women are amazing. But what are we doing with it?
Yeah, I think too,
huh? Go ahead.
I think like the guys, even though like some of the content that they're creating, they're not making money from it. I think the hope is to make money from onlooking persons. So persons who say, "Hey, that guy is great. Let me take him to do some work," and kind of that's how the Palm Tree Corner started too. Because everything in the Palm Tree Corner except that last season was funded by us. Essentially, we took all the resources that we had and we put it out in the field. So to record the audio, we took everything that we had in the studio. Well, not everything, but we took some things that we had in the studio and bring it outside in an open place and record that. The musicians were not getting paid. The artists were not getting paid. We were not getting paid, but we put it out there to show people what we can do. And the Giselle saw that, and they wanted a feature for their ambassadors in that last season, and they paid for it. So I'm just saying this to say, like, sometimes we feel like, oh, we're putting out things out there and we're not making anything from it. But sometimes it's not about the now, but it's
the long-term goal.
Long-term goal.
I love it. I love that.
And you're saying something that a lot of the younger artists and also seasoned artists too have to constantly remind ourselves, because it goes back to those things. There's a lot of us who are creating content. Our why is very important for us to remain relevant in what we do, and understanding that we are seeking the same funding from so many other, just like like a lot of other people from the same companies. So how do we set ourselves apart? And I think investing in yourself and your own beliefs also is a big part in letting people know that you are true in what you say you're all about. That's just my little 2 cents.
Yeah, I think again, I want to add on to what John said, and even you said it, Meschida, is the notion of time when it comes to creativity. If you're in this for get the one-hit wonder and get the money and then go and live your life, that's good for you. But if you understand that you were made to create an impact, we see you spoke about the island getting the highest talented people. I smile because I look at Nollywood, right? I went to Jamaica, I went to Dominica, I went to Antigua. Everyone consume Nigerian films. I watch Nigerian films in the island that I've not watched in years, right? That shows you that most of these people that started this Nollywood industry didn't make money at the time. No. But now go on Netflix and you see it's all over. Most of the African films on Netflix are from Nollywood. So what is the time? What's your time factor in your mind when you're looking at yourself as a creative person? Are you there for the short run or are you there for the long run? If you're there for the long run, just be persistent, right? Keep being relevant. Try as much as possible to create, no matter how difficult it is. even if it's just a Twitter video or an Instagram video live or something, just make yourself relevant and it's going to happen, you know. And John's story is a testament of that, right? They invested their time, energy, sweat, blood, and tears, and then the sponsors came by themselves, you know, because they saw the work that was done, you know. So
how do you remain current in your craft? Are you consuming? When I say consuming, are you consuming knowledge through books? Are you constantly enrolling in different training resources? How do each of you remain current?
John, you want to go for that first?
Well, with me, I always look at what's out there, to see what people are actually consuming, because then you can actually figure out, you know, what they want. And for me, I always try to find new ways to engage people. Again, going back to the Palm Tree Corner, the last season that we did, that was not what I originally had planned, but that was just a sponsored one. So we did what they wanted us to do. But for an upcoming season, I wanted to do something different, give people something different, because not because something is good means that you should keep on doing the same thing over and over. You know. So I wanted to feature different bands, or feature not just soca artists in different styling, or just change things up just to give people something fresh, you know, because you listen to a song over and over, at a point you wouldn't want to listen to it again. You watch a video over and over, at a point you ain't gonna want to watch that again. And it might be different people in the video, but it's the same video.
Yeah.
You know. So to stay relevant and current, you just always have to think of new creative ways that you can still give the people what they want, but just differently, in a way that they can always be excited about what you give them.
Yeah, I like that. I think for me, it's the themes. Again, I'm very privileged to be in New York. When I travel out of the country, I see a lot of creative minds that don't have the resources that I have here in New York. So it keeps me fresh, right? And then secondly, my projects are mostly themes. You know that, Meschida, I like to address issues that I feel like are swept under the rug. Like we did the first project 2 years ago was a female genital mutilation, and last year Miles was a child bride, and it's great. It keeps, and the feedback we've received with Miles is awesome, you know, and receiving the recognition from the Tagore Film Festival in India and getting an email from them saying, wow, we connect to that theme because India is struggling with child bride. It makes me feel like, wow, I did something great, right? So what's the next theme? What else are we going to speak about? What else are we going to make people think about, you know? And I think that keeps you, you know, up there, because now everything that you bring in is something that people are like, oh wow, we didn't think about that, you know. Why? My sister passed away, you know, from HIV/AIDS. That's something I really want to cover, because in Africa it's still considered taboo. You know, there are a lot of movies out there that address the issue of HIV/AIDS, but they will not address it the way I will address it, because I was a first hand, you know, I saw it, you know, as a family member and everything. So I want to do that. I want to do a project that speaks about that, you know. So that when it comes out, even though AIDS is almost out, you know, as a pandemic, people will still be like, oh man, we never saw it like that. So it's important to either work on themes or do, as John said, you know, create new content, or take old content and put your personal touch on it and then make it fresh, you know. So
for me, I used to be an avid reader. I am no longer an avid reader because of timing and everything like that. But I do remain current with the different trade magazines that I read regarding what's happening in the industries. So you have different trade magazines like the Hollywood Reporter, you have Variety, and you have a couple others that you plug into. And that was one of the takeaways from school. They said every morning, just as pick up a newspaper, you always read those trade magazines within the industry to stay abreast of what's happening. So that's one of the ways in which I remain fresh and relevant and current with what's happening. And then another thing is understanding, as you guys talked about, what are the things that are being addressed in the media and what's not being said based on those different themes. So I do a lot of research and I read a lot of when I do have the downtime and I'm doing research in that sense, I do read a lot of white papers by scholars in order to kind of understand deeper the psychology behind the themes that I'm working with. So those are ways in which I stay current. And well, this year, because we couldn't really travel as much or engage as much socially, I plugged in to mostly a lot of YouTube trainings. Because I would have used the time to go out and interact with people. So that's how I stay relevant, but just talking to people. So, and I think it's important for us to understand these things. What are some of the tips that other people can now apply within their own selves?
Yeah, it's important. It's very important because at the end of the day, we are in an industry that is very, trust me, you sleep 1 minute, there's a brand new camera. You just bought a camera yesterday. The second version.
I do not even invest in equipment. I'm a filmmaker with no equipment.
Trust me, and before you know, it's done, right? The mic there's a new mic, there's a new this. So we have to continue. Like I have subscription on with people with stores out there that sells those equipment. So every week or every 2 weeks, I receive an email that tells me, oh, this stuff is out and that is out. So now when I'm going out there to do any work, I know that if my little Panasonic GH5 is old, I need to upgrade it to something new to get the best quality. You know,
that's why collaboration is key. We have people in Grenada who have state of the art equipment. I am a filmmaker with no equipment because I'm like, if I need something, I can go rent it right here.
Yeah.
But to invest in the cameras and stuff, everything every 6 months, something new is coming out. That's hard.
Yeah,
that is really hard.
It's tough. We'll get there. We'll get to a point where we'll have a warehouse, you know, of just equipment, and then we can, you know, we can represent houses of equipment and just decide to change it where we want to. But for now, you know, we have to do with what we have. And your system is great, right? Just renting or finding partners that want to be part of the project that bring in their, you know, state of the art equipment, and it helps, you know. Or having, like John, having everything in-house, right? And then just taking it out and using it.
It's not ideal, but it works.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Listen to me. Everybody in Grenada have a drone. Everybody in Grenada have 4K, 6K, 8K cameras.
I don't have a 6K camera.
You know, everybody in Grenada have these things. So as Don said, when we say, come, let's do a shoot, Sarah, we don't need anything more than just probably some C-spans or we could make it out of bamboo or something along that line. You know? So I'm just saying we already have the things that we need there to make it possible.
Yeah, that's great.
So, go ahead, John.
Now, I was just saying that I'm also a person who says stuff like, you know, make the best of what you have. Like, you may not have because there are people who have like expensive cameras, and you will see someone with a very cheap camera, but the person with a cheap camera, you find, hey, that person's footage is looking real good. It's just knowing how to use what you have and making the best out of it. You know? So
that's a valid point again, because you have the most expensive, or the latest version of things doesn't necessarily mean
you have the best content.
Exactly.
I agree. I totally agree. And sometimes you don't appreciate what you have until you go somewhere else and you see what someone else have. We shot miles with the GH5 Panasonic 1500. When I landed in Ghana, I brought the GP. I took out the camera from the bag and I gave it to him. He held it like I just gave him $1 million red camera, right? And he said, you know what, director, I'm not doing nothing. I'm just going to be on YouTube all night and researching on how to use this. By tomorrow morning, I'll be ready. You know, and he slept with the camera in his hotel room. In the morning, he came out, everything. I want to say this is like, no, I know. So you're right, John. You have to be able to appreciate what you have and use it efficiently to get the quality that you need. You know, because at the end of the day, it's not about you getting an expensive camera. You can get the expensive camera and still not give us what we want.
Very true.
Aretha said, indeed, collaboration is key to be able to remain both relevant and impactful, reaching a wider audience.
Yeah, she's watching from South Africa, actually. Aretha is watching from South Africa.
Hi, from South Africa. You see what? I'm reaching international.
Aretha is watching from South Africa.
Dying. This is just via my wonderful warped sense of humor, because I think as creatives, we have to laugh, we have to celebrate each other, we have to edify each other, you know. And that's the world we're in. We're in to make people happy. We control the tones of how people feel, the vibes. If you want to make someone sad, you do something that is sad. If you want to make someone happy, you do something that makes them happy. And now that, you know, we have our live audio mixer who would drop all the rhythms for us, you know, he will make us dance just the same. So there we go. Right here and there, you know, right on this platform alone, you have a damn strong team that could just drop a film right there and then. So with that said and done, oh my God, I'm an idiot sometimes. I just happy with myself.
No, but Shara, you said something very powerful. Maybe you said it. I don't know. I hope you listen to yourself sometimes, because you're a visionary. And it brings, when you were saying it, I was thinking about you said it in the beginning of the show about Chadwick, right? He got diagnosed for 4 years. Guess what he did in those 4 years? He ran like he didn't. And my wife was telling me the other day, wow, it was a well-kept secret. Nobody spoke about it. We didn't even know until he passed away. He took the time he had to hit the ball out of the parkway. You know, like he didn't sit down and mourn. He used his gift and his talent. And so, you know what? It may be tough, but guess what? I'm going to do Black Panther. I'm going to do Jackie Robinson. I'm going to do James Brown. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. He used his time wisely. So for all the creative people out there, what are you doing with your time, right? Like, how do you stay relevant? How do you Meschida is a director. She's a film festival owner, whatever I want to call her right now. But guess what? She's hosting a whole platform, you know, YouTube Live. I'm bringing show Sunday after Sunday. I watch it and I'm like, wow, how does she do that? Like, the guests are on point, the information is on point. You know, you have to use your time wisely, because you never know. You never know what's going to happen next, right? So as a creative person, your breakthrough could be like the next second. And by wasting time, you can lose it, you know. So it's important. And I so it was a blessing, you know, having that brother around us and seeing his work, and then just seeing him gone right now is like a reminder. It's not even a wake-up call, it's a reminder. Like, Cyril, you guys stop complaining. Do the work. Just do what you have to do and stop complaining.
So you know that's my motto. I jump first in without figuring out how it's going to be fun.
Serious. I love it. I love it. That's me right there.
But you know, another thing too is like what Meschida is doing is like, even though like maybe we're not filming right now, she has this platform where she's talking about filming, you know, and that itself is staying relevant.
Powerful.
You know, because too, like, sometimes you may not pick up your camera, and after a while you might forget a few things. But if you don't pick up your camera, but yet you're still talking about it, when you go back to your camera, it just feels like you never put it down.
I love it. I love that. I love that, John. That's powerful.
Yeah,
you know, that's great. Just create something. You know, you don't need to. This is about filmmaking, right? And we have a lot of content creators out there that are watching it. We have a lot of content creators that are enjoying the information. Now somebody's going to send John a call. Somebody's going to call Meschida or call me for something. You know, you never know. You know, and there's a lot of people out there that are just waiting for this corona to go so that we could start filming, so that we could start doing project. Actually,
but it's not about waiting. It's about doing. It's about being active and repackaging things. I struggle with that all the time. If you ask me what I'm good at, I cannot tell you what I'm good
Everything. Everything.
Okay, I haven't had a guest who knows me so intimately. Just put me on blast. So I think right now, I think my cheeks are all red and stuff because this is making me laugh.
The resilience, Meschida, the resilience. And I know we mostly Black people were so humble. We don't want to take credit and everything. I have an issue with that, right? You have to be confident enough to say, you know what, I'm good at this. I could do this, right? Like John said it in the beginning. You introduce him and he said, oh, I don't think I am. I'm like, man, take the credit for once, man. Nobody's pushing you. Meschida, take the credit, right? Like if I didn't see it firsthand, I will not be able to speak about it. You could be pink all you want. I'm just saying the truth.
Okay, so let me say it. I'm gonna take credit. Okay, so I'm Meschida Philip. I am a filmmaker. I am a writer. I'm a director. I'm a producer.
Exactly.
What else do I do? I'm an editor. Founder of a film festival. You know, I'm a consultant. Oh my God! And you know, I consult people like John, and I have a wonderful network of amazing talents around me who I bring together to foster unity. Is that
that was powerful? I love it.
Your turn right now. We have 4 minutes before we shut down. So reintroduce yourself to the people because our leadership coach just told us what we need to do to remain relevant and current. So, John, the floor is yours.
The floor is yours, John.
It's pretty much the same, you know. My name is John James. I live on a very small island, 13 square miles. I do music and photography full time. In music I do audio recording, mixing, mastering. In photography and videography, I do photo shoots. I record music videos. I shoot some short films sometimes.
Oh, he had short films, sir. I haven't yet to do a short film. But let me hear more.
Yeah, and
you guys are awesome. You know, at the end of the day, when you know your worth, nobody can stop you, right? The leader that is afraid of walking in the room and just taking over is a leader that doesn't know his worth, right?
That's
when
right.
you walk in the room, take over, and guess what? The people that will be inspired will come to you. The people that will be intimidated don't know their worth. People that don't know their worth are very, very intimidated. The people that are intimidated, I could easily call Meschida every day, all night. She knows I need your help with this because I know that doesn't take anything away from my worth. It doesn't. You know, I know who she is, and now I know who you are, John James. I could call you anytime, knowing that I have the resources. It doesn't take nothing away from me because the things I do, other people can do it. You know, so that was the word for today. You just came out of church.
Amen. Amen. Hallelujah. So I do appreciate you. We have 2 minutes counting down before we wrap up. But I just wanted to say, as far as the next steps, and if you can advise a younger emerging creative right now, what are some of the encouraging words you would tell them or share with them to remain relevant, remain current, and to just continue being authentic to who they are?
Keep doing it. Keep doing it. Never stop. Keep doing it. Don't look at what you have. Look at don't look at the equipment you have. Just create. Keep creating. Your phone. Look in Lagos, in Nigeria, the children that did the film, Hollywood called them, you know. So just keep doing it. You never know where your breakthrough is going to come from.
I agree. What about you, John?
I was gonna say the same thing. Just keep doing what you're doing. Focus on what's true to you, because you don't want to do something that you don't have a passion for. Create something not because someone else is doing that and people are appreciating that means that you should do it. Just focus on what's true to you.
Exactly.
And create that. And the people that appreciate it are your audience.
Mm-hmm.
You don't need their audience. You want your audience.
Okay, so I had to put it up there, John. Let me tell you, from South Africa, Aretha said, "Well, John James, thank you for introducing us to Grenada. All the best with your projects. You are a
Yes,
success."
success in motion. I love
Thank you,
that.
Rita. That means a lot.
So, Aretha, we're waiting to welcome you once the coronavirus thing is up and our borders are open. You're welcome to come to Grenada and enjoy what we have offering. You can
Yeah.
also get a glimpse of it through the film festival that will be happening in October.
Love
And that will be virtual. So we will share the link and just continue to follow us.
it.
For me, the advice that I would like to give the next generation is just start. You may not have it all figured out, but once you start, doors will start opening up in ways that you have no idea or you couldn't even imagine it opening up for you. And that's always been my advice to someone who's asking me how to become a filmmaker. And I say, just start. Start conceptualizing a story, start educating yourself, just start. And the rest will work itself out.
Yes, ma'am.
So,
Put the green screen in your room and start trying to do stuff that you don't even believe you can do. Right? It's going to happen. You know, just
so
do it.
how can people find you guys? You can drop your contacts in the chat. I'll make sure that I update everything. John, how can people find you?
Mainly Instagram because my and Facebook. You can find our content on YouTube as well. Palm Tree Vibes is the same across Facebook and Instagram. Palm Tree Vibes with a Z in the end, PALMTREEVYBEZ.
I've dropped a link of one of the videos in the chat room so people can click on it and find it.
And for the music, it's Expert Productions, and you can just find that on YouTube and Facebook and also Instagram.
What kind of music do you produce with Expert? All type of music?
We do produce all type of music, but mainly it's soca. Because for the past few years, soca has been going to different levels, and we were with the trend. The past few years we had a number of success in the soca industry, but as COVID came, it hit a reset button, and we're back to a place where we're creating more content other than soca.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that this is awesome, and I know we're about to wrap, but it just dawns on me every single time I'm speaking to creatives. One of the things that I would love to see also, John, and we touched on it briefly, is your artists who are working with you as far as the productions for creating the music, allowing them to see how their music now can also be repurposed and repackaged into visual work like what we are doing. And they need to start now seeking out filmmakers like myself and independent filmmakers to see how their work could also be relived and repackaging in some of these productions, and have a little bit of leeway to understand that it may not be getting paid up front, but you'll be amazed to see where your music could reach by people from across the world seeing your
But
content.
I think by now a lot of artists realize that people want visuals. And sometimes just putting out a song now alone isn't enough. People want to.
And it's not enough also for just a music video, but it's also looking to see how that one song can also live in other content, like a movie. How that could live in a content like a PSA beyond just a music video. So that's just something that I want to put out there for if there's any artist that's listening out there, start thinking about it. It's great to write about wine and jump up and rum and all these things, but I always make the reference with Marshall Montano and his film Bagodi. This is a soca artist that wrote quality music that could have scored an entire feature-length film. So when you're writing content as a musician, think beyond what's just the genre in which the market that you're serving, but also think how this could be repurposed later on for other projects, other bigger projects. So that's just my little 2 cents in this.
Okay.
We can have a whole long conversation about it, and that's what we do. Sarah, how can people reach you?
𝗖𝘆𝗿𝗶𝗹𝗶𝗶 is my name, and it's my handles on all my social media, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and then now my YouTube page is coming. My website will be on by mid-September. It will be my first initial of my first name, Njiken, my last name.com. And you have all my project there, my live coaching sessions, my motivational speeches, and then my movies, and all the project I'll be doing. That will be my platform to expose all the project I'm doing. And it was great. It was a pleasure being here, Meschida. I think we need more of these. I'll keep encouraging you. I'll keep telling you you're great, even though you don't like to hear that sometimes. And you have to push, because I've seen you already up there, right? People that are discovering you now are still just seeing what you're doing, and they're like surprised. I've seen it already, so I believe that the day is coming where most people that are not giving you support into everything you're doing will be standing on the sidelines. Say, I wish I knew. I would have joined the band, right? I would have helped her, no matter, even if it's just a compliment, I would have given to her. But I could gladly tell you that you're on the right path. You're on the right path. And thank you for having me, John. It was nice sharing the panel with you. You're awesome.
Pleasure, man.
Awesome. Never look down on your talent, bro. You're awesome. Just keep
yeah. From the one, when I saw his work, I saw something beautiful in him, and
awesome.
I've been a follower of his work ever so often. I drop little notes to say hey, but I do appreciate quality work when I do see it.
Yep.
He is.
You never know, man. We may meet in Africa one day. We may.
You never know.
Man. Of course, definitely.
So on this note, I just also want to say thank you guys for taking the time on a Sunday afternoon to spend this last hour with us. This is sadly the ending of season 1 for Chime In.
Oh wow!
So it's also an honor, right?
Yeah, that's nice.
Yeah, definitely.
With me. We've dropped links to the palm tree quote, so you can check out some of John's work in our comments. And I just wanted to say this, even though we're closing off the season for Chime In right now, we are actually going to be popping up during the film festival in October. As I've mentioned before, the 1261 Film Festival is going to be a hybrid festival, and our dates will be October 30th to November 3rd. And by that, when I say hybrid, we are having limited screening days in Grenada, and we are going to be going virtual the rest of the days. This year, we have reimagined the festival. The focus is on Black content, Black and brown content from the Caribbean and African diaspora. We're showcasing films from the different Caribbean regions, North America, as far as different countries in Africa. We have programming for children, and we have programming for just adults. But we've also added other components where we're highlighting different musical artists from Grenada. We are also highlighting different photographers and visual artists from Grenada. So we're having something for everyone. And also we're featuring fashion that is made by Grenadians locally. So we're having a marketplace. So if you haven't yet started to follow us, please go ahead and follow us on all our social media platforms. That's 1261filmfestival.com. I cannot leave this season without saying thank you to our partners. Right Along Live, Mr. Junior George, he is one of our biggest media supporters. Through his platform, we're able to come into your home every week and stream and bring content creators from across the world talking about their experiences and their challenges within the sector. Refill now, shameless to say, That's my nephew's product. He also is a big supporter of this Chime In product. And the Robertson team, they're a real estate group here in New York. They're also a partner here. So my family, thank you for your support. Mama, who you saw in the beginning of of the show today. Thank you to all of my guests who made it possible this year for season 1 for the last 2 months. Thank you. And we will see you in October. So every week I try to do it nicely. Like you see, I'm trying to do it again. I was trying to do the outro. And this is what I'm talking about, right, guys? I'm trying to do the outro really nice, right? But it's not happening. So let me do it again.
By the second season, you'll be awesome. So
on this note, let's do it again.